Let's make a new component. We've only got one component. We're going to add a second component to a project for the first time. It's going to change our lives. So looking at the static version, where do you see potential for new components here? If you had to break that rascal up, what might some of your components be? Let's start at just like the highest level. If you're just going to break this thing into rectangles, yeah. Sidebar. Seems legit. I like it. That could be just the extreme left there that has the logo, the plus icon, and the exit. Sure. Sidebar. I like it. What else?
The actual note part where you write.
The actual note part on the right, the far right rectangle. So the form, basically, is what that is, right? So process of elimination, probably everything in between, right? Our actual list of notes. And it seems like inside our list of notes, we've got some things, right? The individual notes. That should probably be another component too. Okay, that's a good start. A sidebar, our list of notes, our form on the right, the individual notes. So I'm actually going to keep app really, really small. I'm going to add something in between all those, and I'm going to call it main. So app is going to contain almost nothing except main. Here's why. You notice there's actually, besides notes.html, we also copied, I think it was signin.html. So we've got a sign-in page too that we're going to have. So app.js is the one component that's replacing the DOM. And whether we're doing the list of notes or we're doing the sign-in page, we're always going to be loading the app component. So main is going to contain everything you see here, because we're later going to have a separate component for sign-in. So, and I just did my hot corner for screensaver. All right, cool. So let's make our main component. So in our source directory, that's where all our JavaScript's going to live. Let's make a new file. I'm going to call it capital M main.js. All right, so to create a React component, we need React. So we will import capital R React from the string lowercase React. Already ESLint's telling me, hey, you haven't used React yet. I know, give me a second. Jiminy Christmas, it's the first line of the file. Hold your horses, React, or ESLint. So then we need a component, and we're putting this in a separate file, so we're going to need to remember to export it when we're done. So here's how I always start. Import the thing, make a simple component, class, main, extends, react.component. Don't forget my render function. I pretty much always, since it has to be surrounded by something, I pretty much always just start with a div with a class name of whatever my component is called. So a class name of capital M main. I need a return there. Because no matter what else I do, I pretty much always do that. So I just start there. Remember, if you have multiple lines in your JSX there, you're going to have to use parentheses like that. Now, still complaining that I haven't done anything with main. And that's the last part. Don't forget to export it. So export default capital M main. And that is our very simple component. I'm not going to keep this in there, but just for the sake of making sure this actually worked, I'm just going to stick main in there, just so there's something, so it's not empty. Now to use this inside app.js, I need to import it into app.js. So I put all my imports at the top. And the way I typically do it is anything that's imported from a node module, I put at the top. I usually leave a blank line before I start importing anything from my actual components. And I think what I usually do is import CSS before I import my JavaScript. So we'll import app CSS. Then I will import main from. Now I have a VS Code extension that once I start typing /, it's going to actually show me the stuff that's in the current path. So I can just arrow down to main there. And since it's a JavaScript file, I don't need .js. Just import main from main like that. And it's complaining, of course, that I haven't used it yet. So let's use it. Where I have note header, let's just replace that with main. So how do I use main in here? I use the JSX tag. And I could do opening and closing tag, but I'm not going to put anything in between them, so I may as well make it self-closing. So main, space, / angle bracket, like that. And once I save it, if all is well, my browser should have just updated, and now it says main. Cool. Our first component from scratch in a real project. Add main component. Not much to it, but by golly, it's hooked up right. So it's something.